Is this thing on? Tap, tap. I'm live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral, or Train Man, or whatever else you want to call me. And today we are back on Tolbrand because that's where we belong. So, what were we going to do? Well, we have this area to work on. Fancy fences, they were green. Yes, they were. We have this area to work on now. I wanted there to be, in here, maybe some animals, because we have it fenced off with this, and then maybe some fields on this side. It's a little hilly on this side to do fields, but I think we can get away with it. The thing that I want to grab is I need something to mark the edges of the fields. So KS1 Protection says howdy. Andrew Edwards says hello, my good man. Hello to the both of yous. Okay, see, the track is good now. Let's go down into Mason Valley and look at the track real quick, because we were having trouble with that last time. I did a database repair after the stream, and, oh, we can actually see it right here. Yeah, see, look, the track is whole. The track is all there, and the town looks just as good as it ever has. Hello, hashtag they were green, says Pat. Gunda says, what's up, Ellis? Gunda, I cannot not think about your name and the sound Gunda. I don't know why, but just the word Gunda is now burned into my brain and it will not leave. I still need a drawbridge for here, and that is proving to be incredibly difficult. Hilogram. So yeah, this is supposed to be shipping through here. And then this. Oh, this was supposed to be a lock, but it's not anymore. Actually, it probably wouldn't be that hard for me to make it a lock if I added some doors over here. And then just got rid of the waterfall and just put a little dam up. Maybe put doors here and then doors down here. It would be, you can have a lock probably that's this long and it would be more than enough. But this river is not conducive to barge operations. And either way, I said I would stop working on this side of the river. I did say that I would stop. So, what do we want to do first? It's a Gundam reference, Ellis. Well, that makes sense. But Gunda. I ran into a Gundam reference earlier today, and I can't remember what it was. Well, we need to finish up this here. Man, my computer is going crazy. Hold on. What can I do to make my thing calm down? What is using up my CPU? Obtain OBS and a little bit of Chrome, probably so I have this open. Discord is doing something. Maybe if I close out Discord, Desktop Window Manager, Task Manager. It's mostly Tane. Tane is eating up more than half of my CPU, so that is a, whoops, that's not Tane. That's my stream preview. That is more than what I would want, but hey, there it is. Okay, so we need, first things first, we need to switch to route layer. Now, we can do a lot today, and because I'm here in real time, you guys can direct me if there's something that you would really like to see. The thing that I am thinking about is the forested area that we worked on during the last actual recorded episode that got destroyed. I'm currently walking because it's 67 degrees. I thought you meant like you were doing exercise, like you were doing something for school. Like I'm doing this math exercise. But hey, it's good you're walking. Don't be fat. This has got to go over here because of the trolley pole. I don't have an option. And I can hear a diesel from here. Last time I didn't even put my headphones on, but now I can hear this diesel. The other thing I'm thinking about doing, this crossed my mind, is I'm wondering if I can set OBS to only record or only hear certain windows. A spammer just left me a voicemail, says Pat. The thing that I was thinking of doing, right, is that I have you know, we have Iron Horseman Radio. If you're in the Discord, you probably know what that is, except for the new people, but you'll probably find out soon, TM. Aside from that, though, or, you know, with that, I'd always like to have some music in the back of these episodes, but of course, we've had problems with that before. When I've been doing a stream, though, I don't think it's as bad unless I want to disable it being rewatched, which I wouldn't really want to do that. But maybe what I could do is say I have Iron Horseman Radio running in the background, but I have OBS set up so it can't hear Discord. It can just hear Trains and me. And what I can do with that is then I can be able to hear the music and everyone else can hear the music. And you know, then we can have a thing where the people that are on right that moment can hear the music. Graham says we need copyright music. We need copyright-free music for streaming, and I've done that, and I still got hit. Like, not with copyright strikes, but with people saying it was theirs. Matt says he's stuck in Graham's trunk. Don't worry, Matt, it's not unusual. Brady Kira says, when you are done with this part of the map, could you do a run session on the route? If you do end up doing a run session, maybe make it multiplayer and get a few people to hop on and run trains like a multiplayer Sunday driving. Now, I could do that. I would prefer to do more of an AI showcase, because that's what this map is good for right now. The other thing is, I haven't set this up to be, like, it's supposed to be multiplayer compatible, but I don't have a multiplayer session. Pat says be quite. So I would have to put one together. I'm not sure how difficult that would be. I don't think it would be overly difficult. But this is Tane. I'm not sure if multiplayer has gotten better in 19. I don't know if anybody's really played around with it that I know. So I don't know how possible that would be, although it's something that it would be nice to do. So, Brady, I'll keep it in mind. I know that's what people want to see, and I know, you know, multiplayer and trains being run and that sort of thing, that is a big part of, well, this game, obviously, and I'm sure no small part of why you guys want to see me play this game. But I'm working on this route. I am, you know, doing these streams and stuff, and the route is my baby right now. So that's number one. I would love to do multiplayer. I just wish it wouldn't be so spotty. You know, there's a very high chance of a crash while you're doing that. So is it worth it? Is it worth the attempt? Maybe. And if I can get it to work, will I stream it then? Maybe. I can't promise anything on that front. I can make a goodbye to Tane video, though, where we toy around on this map and we see all the AI at work, and then we say goodbye to Tane and all it's given us, all the work we've done in it. TTTE fan 1984 says Trains multiplayer sucks. Well, at least we have it, you know? It may not work too great, but at least it exists. That's the thing we should be happy about. And it's something for them to build on. Multiplayer and better multiplayer has always been something that N3V has wanted, and more power to them that they keep trying and trying harder and harder. They haven't worked it out yet, but I could understand that. I mean, multiplayer in any game is hard, but Trains obviously started out as a fully single-player experience, and them going back in and trying to rebuild the architecture so that it can support multiplayer, I think that's that's a huge task, and also it is, it's something to be proud of or excited about. You know, and to cut them some slack about, you know? Short line says evening. Evening short line. Yeah, and as much as it's easy to riff on it, that's the other thing. Trains has a real strong continuity of engine and platform and all that stuff. You know, this is the kind of thing. Well, Brady, don't start a war here. This is the kind of thing where you can grab something from Trains 2004 and drop it into Trains 2019, and there's pretty good odds that it'll work right out of the box. And that is incredible. I've got a suggestion for the factory, for this map, a brick factory with nothing but TH and B boxcars. You know what? Do I have my ideas document somewhere? Hold on. The Pensy Gauntlet. Where's my ideas document? Give me a second, because I'll write that down. I like taking ideas for this. Google Drive. Actually, can I just type in ideas? Nope. That brings up episode ideas for the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Ideas. Ideas. Okay. Let me go in here. I have a whole list of ideas that you can't see right now. Come on, come on, come on. Poughkeepsie, Doughcliff, Wombeck Industries. Let's see. Gilson City. Sulfur System. And bricks. Brick Factory. And I'm gonna write the note that we have a brick commodity. Do we have a clay commodity? Question mark. So now that is one. Now that one is a good doc too about the Iron Horseman document. Yes, it is. Matt, you don't need to know about that document. Okay. I need to trim down this gravel a little bit, I think, because it's out of hand. There we go. And then we're going to need to add some darker grass behind one of those houses. Okay. The thing I actually want to add here is I want to add what used to be a building, so let's grab some dirt. Whoa. How about that? See, this area, there could have been something else here, which just isn't there anymore. And maybe we could add some piles of junk or something like that. Uh-oh, what was that? Oh, that was an email from Mercari. I made the mistake of buying something on Mercari, and they don't stop sending me emails. Don't do it. Shoreline, I saw that. Give me that. And this over here. Okay. Every time I say hey, 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 I say it in Hank's voice. He is the king of that. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that the way it is for now. Well, everyone needs a bricks factory. Let's see. I need some junk. I need some barrels, and I need some piles of lumber. Junk. Old junk store. No. Let's see. How about scrap? I don't want scrap locomotive parts, necessarily. I just want piles of junk. There we go. I mean, Matt, I know you saw the, I know you saw that document. There's another document that's, another thing. That's something else. Which is the episode plan. I don't know if you saw that. Whoa. It doesn't tell you too much, but it tells you plenty compared to not being... Not being in the loop. You end up much more in the loop. Alright, how about, pile? Not scrap 611 gram. Wait, hold up. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough to say that there are crazy revelations in that document, but they exist. That's the one that I thought you had seen. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I take that back. I take back what I just said. Yeah, no, but it is nice to have, that's sleepers. Actually, who made Lassie and how? That's a good question. Believe it or not, so I'm not going to do the in-universe how did Lassie get made and everything like that. Although that is in there. That is in season 2 because there's the episodes about that. But you know, it was Andy and Ivan and their crews, I guess, by extension. So, but really in the series, or not in the series, but outside of the series, how do we make Lassie? Well, what we did was we got an invisible engine and a boxcar. That's it. The noise was in post, and like there isn't an actual. I saw the one with the overall plans for each episode. Yeah. So there's a different one which is the overall plans for like the season. That's huge. Why is it so big? Front loader, maybe. Nope. What did I have up there? Tractor. I don't really want like a John Deere. I want... Okay, what did I do? So I guess that Ivan and Andy gave birth fanfic time. Could also explain how the GMR narrow and standard gauge connect and where they meet. Okay. So I did cover this a little bit last time. But the Geiger Mountains was the brainchild of... Oh, what is his name? The Geiger Mountains is the brainchild of a man by the name of Samuel Tellalil. And he was a proponent of building the Mason Valley Railroad, which is this one that connects Mason, or, you know, Mason's Landing and Mason Valley. So the whole thing was he wanted to build a railroad, but the town of, well, both towns being along the canal route, they were pretty firmly in the pocket of the canal companies and the boating companies. May I burn down asset for effect? Well, actually, I was going to try to get some, like, busted up walls here. Castle wall, yeah. What is this? Oh my god. Nope. There's too many things named Mason and not enough things named Graham. Honestly, I think there are too many things named Graham already. Don't worry, Miat. I'm sure you'll get bacon things left, right, and center when I get to it. Let's see. Can I lower this? Yes. Can I rotate it? You can't do that with walls. So the I will not name anything Graham. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. Ah, where was I? So, Samuel Tellil, right? He, he was a big proponent of the railroad. And the company, or the town was like, no, we don't really need a railroad. We have the shipping companies. We have all this stuff. We don't need to build a railroad. And Tellil was like, you sure? And they were like, yeah, we're sure. He was like, okay, cool. And so he left, and he went to the city of Geiger City, which is way up there somewhere. Or you know, it was a village, but it called itself a city because it wanted to talk tough, right? So, he went up there, and he was like, I want to start a railroad. And they're like, awesome, bring it on. Let's do some railroad isms. And he founded the Geiger Mountains Railroad, which was a coal hauling railroad originally. And then they eventually expanded and they came down here. But the town reneged, and they said, "Sorry, we're sorry, Tellil, we made a mistake. Can you come back and can you build us a railroad? Because we see how well things are doing for you, and we also, like, public opinion has totally swung, and we want a railroad now." And he said, no. So, I'm going to use this building again, because this is a great little building. So, they then banded together, the town did, and decided to build a railroad themselves, which was not the brightest move, because none of them had any railroad experiences. Or none of them had any railroad experience whatsoever. It was like 1835. And they also really didn't know how to build the railroad. You had, within the smattering of people, you had some mill owners, you had some former steamship mechanics and stuff like that. You had a whole bunch of random, relatively unskilled townspeople, and, you know, just a smattering of people across the board that really, they were far from railroad experts, which, that's not to say that anybody was a railroad expert in those days, but there were definitely people who knew a lot more than they did. So they decided, we're gonna do it. We're gonna build our own railroad. Watch us. And they did. And this is the part that I've been busy writing, but they tried to build a railroad, and they couldn't get an engine right away. I mean, obviously, it's 1835 or whatever. Not too many people are building locomotives right at that moment. So it was a little tricky. They contacted the Jefferson Steam Power Company and said, please build us a 440, or sorry, an 040 locomotive. And the Jefferson Steam Power Company said, yeah, no problem. It'll be, you know, a few months, because it's 1835. And I said, cool, well, you know, whenever you can get it over to us, we'd appreciate it. All right, thanks. So the months go by, and they decide to build this railroad anyway, even though they don't have an engine yet. You know, they'd built a shed and stuff over where? Over here somewhere. It was like right over here on the waterfront. I might even leave remnants of it, but the original yard and stuff was over here. So they built that, and they built a little bit of track, and then they went, okay, well, we're going to do more. We have to do more. We can't stop right now. And they kept building. without an engine. So what they ended up using is they used all sorts of animal power. And I'm talking like everything from horses, mules, donkeys, bulls, sheep at a couple of points, because there's the bleachery right here, and they would bring in sheep, and when that's all you've got at the moment, you use sheep. And so they built, and they built, and they built. And then they got up to Doughcliff. So Doughcliff is the halfway point. I'm going to be building Doughcliff in the next section, so I'm not going to be building it now. But that is right about here. So there is north and south Doughcliff, or sorry, east and west Doughcliff. There are going to be some industries over here that are rail served, and then there's going to be there were rail served industries on this side, but not anymore. And then there's going to be like slips for docks and stuff like that for canal boats. You know, this is gonna connect in here. You're gonna be able to do that. Use a team of 135.7 small cats to pull a cart of stone. Don't know how you get 0.7 cats, but I'm not gonna ask. So they built all that way, including this bridge, which this was like a wooden trestle at one point, and then they rebuilt it. And they also built it in 3-foot gauge. Why? Because Tellalil liked 3-foot gauge, so we're going to build in 3-foot gauge too. It didn't matter that the railroad that was being built along the waterfront was standard gauge. The railroad that they were connecting to was standard gauge. That didn't, you know, even enter their minds. He built it like this, and he's snubbing us. But he is succeeding, so we're going to have to follow his example. So that's what they did, and they built their railroad all the way to Doughcliff, and then the locomotive arrived. What do you think happened when the locomotive arrived? If you guessed they decided to use it, you guessed wrong. There was a schism within the company about how to use the locomotive. Some people said, we need to use the locomotive for moving passengers, because some of the larger steamships can dock in Doughcliff, relatively speaking, larger steamships. And because of that, we must start moving passengers with it and freight with it immediately back and forth between Mason Valley and Doughcliff. Other people said, no, why would we do that? We need to finish the railroad first, use the engine for that. And that fight escalated to the point where there was actual like subversion going on. One of the heads of the factions was a former steamship mechanic, and he still had connections on the steamship lines. And so he started like a propaganda campaign, or you know, like he was secretly sharing information about the railroad that was coming along with his old friends to get them to tell the passengers that they were going to run a train. And, you know, the things were going on, and so then, you know, this faction started planning to run the first revenue passenger train by secretly telling everyone in town that they could, that would not tell their opponents, or, you know, the other faction, and secretly spreading the word amongst the steamship passengers that, hey, you know, you won't have to take a horse cart along a dirt road from Doughcliff to Mason Valley anymore. You can take our train, and the first run is going to be at, you know, at this point, at this time. So they eventually won out because they used the engine, despite there being a fight that I have not gotten to write yet. I'm just imagining a group of men around a table throwing down over a locomotive. That's not too far off. Because they tried to take the locomotive out, you know, get it steamed up and get it to Doughcliff. It didn't exactly go to plan. And that led to throwing of hands. And eventually they did get the engine out there, but they did, and they did run that train, and the other faction backed down because it was like, okay, so this is going to be used for it. But they managed to figure out how to use it for both. The engine got its butt worked off. I will assume, I haven't written this far, but I'll assume they probably broke it and had to order a new one. I'm sure there's a funny story to tell about the passengers being treated to being pulled by some sort of animal along the railroad tracks instead of the locomotive because they broke it. But but who knows? I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not that far along. Oh, there was another question in here. Somebody asked a question about about one of the railroads. If that person will ask it again, I would appreciate it. Because I do know things. I don't have I can't pull up the map right now, unfortunately, like the map of the map. But these roads are pretty extensive. What was that? Something just changed over here. Hold on. Oh, it was how many towns are on the GMR and how many miles of track do they have? That was KS1 Productions asked that. Okay, sorry. The Geiger Mountains is actually pretty extensive. There are maybe a dozen major towns, if you can call them major. I don't know what major counts as. But the railroad runs from Geiger City, and it runs north and south. It runs to its coal mines and also to a handful of mill towns and logging towns out in the woods. And probably other mineral deposits. I know there's a quarry that they run to that's along the old VMR right-of-way that they purchased. The VMR right-of-way, the old right-of-way, it got split between the Geiger Mountains and the highway. So, Matthew says I should keep working on the K-27. I'd love to see it, dude. And they have quite a few miles of track. I will actually pull up the map just to give you an estimate, but unfortunately you won't be able to see it. So just give me a second. Let me go into my pictures. Let me go into maps, Tolbrand map. Let's see. What's the newest one? That's PNG. It's a paint.net image. See, this one was last edited 8/28. So that's probably the most recent one. I can't believe it's been that long since I've worked on this. But let's see. This is a PNG. This is a PNG. So, oh, you know what? I should have opened the PNG, because now it's going to open paint.net. Hold on. Hold on. Mistakes were made. When did I make this file? August 28th. That's 8/28. Open this instead. Don't open paint.net. Jesus. Oh, there it goes. Stop. Close. Get out of here. Oh, lordy. The Geiger Mountains. Let me just give you... Get out of here. Let me just give you a brief overview. It runs from Geiger City to the coal mines in Blood Gulch and a meeting point with the Volga Mountains, which it has to go over a pretty difficult but short mountain pass to do. It runs out of there to a town called Bursington. There's another town that I forget the name of that I was supposed to throw on there. I think there were two that I forgot the names of. Blood Gulch in the original Geiger Mountains was just called Summit. And so it runs south out of there, or it runs southeast to Blood Gulch, southwest to the meeting point with the VMR. It runs northeast to Bursington. That is a mill town and logging town. There it goes under another line. I don't know where that line goes, but it's marked on the map. It runs north out of Geiger City, basically due north, runs under another line that used to be the VMR to Mason Valley. Then it loops through Mason Valley, and it splits again to the town where it meets with all of the junctions of the lines that it goes under, and also continues to the logging town of Wakefield, which is also where the portage begins for the Wakefield Gap. That is one of the, or that is where, whoops, hold on. That is where this canal goes. So this river, which I have to work on some more, this goes towards the Wakefield Gap. It runs up to up to a lake before Geiger City, but before that it splits and goes up towards Bursington and then to Wakefield and then over the portage. And I don't have names for these rivers, but I should have marked them, unfortunately I didn't. The other branch there, after you go out of Mason Valley in this direction, it breaks into two branches. One of those branches is the one I just talked about. The other one is the Akron, the Macon extension. The Macon extension goes, it follows the river a little more. It follows its branch of the river a little bit more. Crosses the old VMR, which is now the interstate highway. Parallels a river and the regular highway. Crosses a mountain pass. And then it's in the high desert. And it runs in basically a straight line like the Rio Grande out by Alamosa. It reaches another thing of mountains, turns south, and then runs through a narrow, dry valley to Macon. And in Macon, it meets what would have been the Everett Lake Railroad, if it had ever been finished, and the Everett Lake Mining and Navigation Company, if it had ever been properly finished, and it meets the Zion Skyline there. And then there is a small, a relatively short branch, which probably, I mean, short on this scale is quite long. It's actually probably 5 miles at least, of dual track that leads down to the waterside at South Macon. And that, I mean, let's see, 15 miles is how long? So that's 15 miles. I mean, you could break this thing down. There's probably 50 miles in the Macon extension and another 30 or 40 in other trackage. So you've got 100 miles of track probably, at least. Maybe I'm selling it short actually. So okay, what did I miss? Underoos. I gotta go. Ellis, please consider my idea about multiplayer. I'll get back to Sonic. I'm be back going to Sonic to get something. Please have Geiger City baseball team called the Laggers. That'd be fun. I should reskin an original K27 in a GMR. Slopeback tender and box headlight. Oh my god. I would love it though. That'd be great. By the way, here is a K36 or K37, sorry, with all of the goods. These would be coming down from Macon. Hey Alice, have you seen the pics of the CSX crash in Kentucky that I posted on the Discord? Yes, I believe I referenced them during the last Terminus podcast. Whoa, I'm escaping. Camera's going crazy. Alright, it's back. So, yeah, those boxcars full of... Stop. Those boxcars full of goods, they will come down here and get transferred here. Those are going to be things, mostly things coming from Akron, which is a huge industrial center, and then coming over the Zion Skyline, and getting put onto the narrow gauge, and then getting put back on the standard gauge to go to Jefferson, because there's no easy way to get from Akron to Jefferson. I don't think I saw the cleanup, unless you post, yeah, if you posted it recently, I don't think I saw it. Anyway. Okay, what to do next? You guys can choose if you have something that you want me to do next, but I think I'll work on this shoreline. Stop running away! There we go. Hold on. What else is eating up my frames? Not my frames. My CPU. My frames are fine. Alright, now I can't see it. I can't see the thing. Forget it. Just put this over here. Okay. So, let's get this waterfront done. This over here is going to be the one of the few mills that doesn't have a a slip for docking, and it's because it's up so high. The cleanup. What cleanup? Cleanup? Oh, sorry, never mind. I just reread your comment twice, and I was confused. Posted last Friday. Then maybe I missed them. I'm not certain. I don't remember seeing them, but a lot of stuff goes by, you know? I like to try and pay attention to everything that happens in the Discord, but I am less than omnipotent, and I really do appreciate the people that come in there and that explain the rules to people, that are the first to introduce themselves to new people. You guys are good. You guys do good jobs. If I ever have to worry about leaving the server alone for an extended period of time, it'll probably be those people that I entrust. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know who you are. So, yeah, this side of the river is going to be kind of tricky, I think. This is, I mean, it's just got to get done. You know, this is going to be the most industrialized area, and I think I need to add some more little outbuildings. I added these 3, but little sheds, chain link fences to divide everything up. That's what we need next, because this is like I said, it's a heavily industrialized area, and we need to make it look like that. That doesn't necessarily mean I need to throw junk everywhere, but it would probably help. Something I kind of want to do, if this isn't too much of a slope. Oh, I guess it is. Oh, the building's hovering. Hold on. Something I do want to do, or I guess I wanted to do, was add some buildings back here. I got a flag stop name from one of the GMRR lines. Okay, well, hit me with it. Because I'll put it in the ideas doc now that I've got that out. Let's just see. Let's just do this. Station town name ideas. I'll just put a list for that, and if you guys want to hit me with names, then I'll fill that up. Of course, it's going to detract from what I'm trying to do here, but hey, if that's what you guys want to see, or hear, I guess, hear me type, then you know. Something I should throw in the ideas doc is all of the football teams, all the team names I came up with, because that's something rather important. Let me do that real quick. Sorry, but before I forget. And then this is going to be Tolbren Sports Football. How come that's not marking itself as a... Okay. Football. John Madden. Akron... ... question mark. Sorry. Not Geiger City, it's Gilson City. Gilson City is the Tolbren Mariners. Jefferson is the Jefferson Statesman. New DMAG is the New DMAG Centerfold. What was one of the other ones? I know there were at least 1 or 2 more. The Tamaros, okay, Tamaros Tigers. And I think there was at least 1 more that I had come up with, and I cannot remember what it was right now, but if it comes up to me. Bradenville. Bradensville's a good one. Let me write that down. Names. Bradenville. Flagstop. Flagstop GMR. Okay, cool. Jefferson Starships. Or nowhere. Will this section of the map be uploaded to the upload station for Trains 2019 or Tane? This will be the last one uploaded for Tame. And then from there on, I'm going to move to 2019. I noticed viewership dropped a little bit, so maybe I shouldn't spend too much time typing. I should actually probably send this to somebody else, and then they can type stuff in and be my little minion. But I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't think anybody else has this document, so... I'm starting to think of the lore for my route. Lore is way too much fun. Shoreline. I envy the... I envy the moment that you're having where you are just beginning to think about it, and because that's always fantastic. When I started thinking of Tolbrand, and I didn't even get that far, really, originally, because I had Iron Horseman on my mind and a lot of other things, and I sort of went, okay, so we're having this route, and I wanted to be big, and I wanted to be this big peninsula, and I made my most basic, rudimentary drawing of what I thought the Tolbrand Peninsula would be like, and I said, alright, cool, that's it, that's what I'm gonna build. And then I started getting into it, and I started coming up with things. The first thing I ever wrote for it was the breakdown for the town of Olive, because that was the first thing I worked on. And I was like, you know what, this might be worthy. This might be good to get me somewhere. And I lost control of my cursor again for a minute. And so then I started thinking a little bit more, and I started doing more visual storytelling to myself using the map. Yeah, converted this route to 2019 is going to be a pain in the... Well, fixing it when it's going to get converted. Well, why do you say that? I'm curious, because I did sort of ask, okay, what's going to break? And I'm curious, then, what is going to break? Brady, if you know what the problem will be, so that I can prepare myself. I think I'm going to have to redo my crossings, which doesn't surprise me. I know I'm going to redo the AI from scratch, so that doesn't concern me. I'll get to it when I get to it. Pensy Fan says, I found the perfect meme steeple cab, and I want to know what it is. Did he put it in here? Oh, hopefully I have time to shower. Well, you don't, because I already started. Oh, I didn't put it. If you want to put something in the stream chat for me to see, I'll glance at it. So, yeah, again, I know I'm gonna have to redo the thing. One of the things that struck me, that is one of the catalysts. Oh, ABNC 100 with extra weight, it was able to pull 38 wooden coaches. Wow. Probably a lot of outdated assets. Yeah, but that was never a problem. Outdated assets have never been a problem. I'm using assets like these Ben Dorsey bridges. They're not new. That's for sure. Let's see if we can find something nice and old. I mean, a lot of these houses, they're not exactly high poly. And, I mean, these warehouse parts, some of these old factories, yeah. I don't know of anyone having serious broken asset trouble when it comes to moving stuff into 2019. Kevon moved his route in, and it survived. So, if that's what you're concerned about, I wouldn't be too concerned. At least, I'm not too concerned. That is, the Steam Road Pensy subsidiary used 3 inches to pull the rake there. The whole point was to break a contract the line had with the suburban, or with the interurban. To pull the rake there. I'm not sure I know what you're saying, Pensy fan. But, yeah, I'm not overly worried about assets. I'm worried about things in the map. I'm worried about my interlocking towers and my signals, especially, because the signals, to be fair, I never sat down and gave the signals a concerted effort to set them all up properly. But when the crews heard about it, and since 100 was basically fresh out of the shop, they put some weights on it and ran with it. Oh, okay. Hey, Ellis, fun question. What's up, Brady? But yeah, I'm not super concerned about that. There have been many more things that I've been concerned about in my life, or even in the life of this route. So, okay, let's raise the ground underneath this just a bit, just a hair, so that I can swap that track, just specifically that track, with the street running track. Just this section here. Let's go grab the street running track. Where did I put that? Let's follow it down here so we can grab it off the tram track. No, I can't. I lied. Oh, right there. That's good. Fun question. When and in what game will this map be finished? It'll probably get finished in Trains 2059. But I'll be running a few versions behind then, so I would expect it by 2062 or so. 3 steam locomotives to pull 38 cars, and this home-built boy just pulled it like it was nothing. I see. I see. That's fun. Alright, so this isn't quite sitting like I would like it to. Something I want... Okay, can I find some frogs for this? Actually, if I... It's not quite 90 degrees, so I don't think frogs would serve me too well. Let's see. Do I have anything that I've been using for underneath industrial trackage? I mean, I've been using this dirt, so that's fine. That works. I'm hearing banging, but I know nobody else is home, so it's either the pipes are going completely crazy or I'm being robbed. Either way, I'm staying here. I can lock both these doors. This is my panic room. Alright, hold on. All over an amusement park. Kid you not. See, I write some stuff that I think would be kind of absurd in my background of railroads. Like, the shenanigans with the barge bridge for the Everett Lake, although that's rooted in reality. The fake company that they were using to build their Columbia extension. See ya, Brady. Pat is back from Sonic. Welcome back, Pat. And then you get these real-life stories of, like, railroads doing pretty ridiculous things either to get around contracts or just because they hate each other, like the Rio Grande and the Santa Fe. Speaking of TRS 2019, have you had the problem of Tane assets being faulty within the new game? They're usually supposed to be backwards compatible. I know a couple of people who have had some minor problems, but I personally have not yet. I haven't done a lot of work with the new game. I've just been building the modular, and it's been going relatively smoothly. The most troublesome thing was, say, Milky's module, and he said that it went nuts for him too. So it wasn't just me. But yeah, they are supposed to be backwards compatible, and I know they usually are. If you're... I don't know if you're in the Discord, but a lot of people in there are pretty knowledgeable on what to do about this stuff. They can dig in pretty hard and fix things. That's one of the things about trains, you know? Trains. It is not unusual in the slightest that you have assets that you have to work on. That you're going to have to work on, that you're going to have to do yourself. And yeah, in some ways it's like a turn-off. Like, oh great, so I got this thing and I want to play with these assets, but I've got to work with them first. I have to learn what this means and what that means. And I understand the frustration. But at the same time, I won't call it the charm, because it's not really charming. But it's the cost of having a game that is as versatile as this one. You end up having to do some stuff yourself. You end up having to get your hands dirty sometimes. And, is that a problem? Yeah, it can be. It can be frustrating to newer players. It can make it difficult for some people, and it can make people want to say, screw this, forget it. But once you learn it, it's really rewarding. Once you learn what you're supposed to be doing and what you can do to fix this stuff. Pat has Oreo cheesecake. That sounds delicious. I haven't had dinner yet. I went to a thing after work at this place down the hall, and they had food, but it was all snacks. I didn't really expect anything else, but that's what they had. So I munched a little bit, and then I came here and did this, and then when I'm done with this, Madison's gonna get home. We're probably gonna figure out food. Give me this, goddammit. I also ran out of water already, so that's unfortunate. That's gonna be troublesome. Okay, so there's that. Again, with the fences, I need to fence everything in here. Chain link fences are a staple of industrial districts, as I'm sure we all know. And fences, on their own, they add a lot. It's sort of like grass, where if you don't have it, you might not really notice that it's the thing that's missing. But when you do have it, it's like, oh, now it looks good. Now the scene looks complete. Let's move this up the hill a little bit. Let's just get it on the flat. Insert. It's weird because even some relatively new JR assets are even faulty. Well, if they're new assets, they probably shouldn't be coming out faulty. That might be a problem with maybe something that you have that they use as a dependency is faulty. That could be a problem. Maybe like a corona. Maybe you have a coronavirus. In seriousness, though, take a peek at that, because that might be it. That might be the kind of thing where you just have a dependency that's broken. If the asset itself is, check the errors and see what's going on there. Did he just say no such thing as a water addiction? Because he's wrong. I do have an addiction with water, and yes, it is healthy. And fight me, honestly. I will only drink water. I actually had soda today, and I made a mental note of it, oh, I'm having soda today. I guess it's one of those days. Because I was out, I actually had it yesterday and today. That's 2 days in a row. That's really unusual for me. And normally I don't even have access to soda. Every living thing has a unique desire to consume caffeine to survive. I'm not sure if I've ever had caffeine. So, I drink like 20 water cups a day. Shortline, my man. And what was I saying? I like water. I drink a lot of water. I drink mostly water. And alright, I'm gonna be back at dinner time, says Meow. Yeah, no, it was weird. I mean, yesterday I had, my stomach was acting kind of funny yesterday for various reasons. And, I mean, one of those reasons is the giant can of Hershey Kisses that I have, thanks to Madison. But, reasons. We had cans of ginger ale in the fridge, and we had to go out, and we had to get driven somewhere, and I was like, if I'm in the car, I'm probably going to end up feeling sick. I'm going to get car sick if I already feel this way. So let me just grab a ginger ale. And then I was at this work thing, and they had water bottles, but I was like, single-use plastic bottles aren't great. You can't recycle them, really. You can, but plastic has a tougher time being cycled than, say, metal. And I was like, well, they've got cans of soda and bottles of water. So, I've already had a bottle of water today, and I guess I'll use the thing. Now, I have a meme coming up. I don't really want to spoil it, but I didn't have my pineapple cup with me today, unfortunately. So, there's a meme coming up with that, which as soon as an event comes to pass, I will be debuting. Debuting isn't the right word. I don't know. I'll have something to say. You guys will see. It's funny. If you think the pineapple cup is funny, this will be even funnier. So, and you can speculate all you want on that. Let's see. Can we get a... See, these guys, they have a chimney in here. They have a chimney, so clearly stuff is being burned inside. I'm thinking... Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I just drink soda and sweet tea all day. It's rare that I actually drink water. Dean, it's amazing that you have all your teeth. Just wait until you're older. But no, seriously, the thing with soda, and I never was, like, addicted to soda. Sugar is addicting. It just is. And soda is goddamn full of it. And sweet tea is too, Mr. Southerner. So, you know, not that it'll just rot your teeth, but it's not super healthy to be ingesting tons of sugar constantly. I mean, I like water because I like water. I'm not on some sort of crusade against soda. Or sweet tea, or coffee, or tea, or any of the other drinks that one can have on a regular basis. I'm not going to disparage someone because they drink something that I don't. But I just like to point out that it's like, okay, water is water. It's pure. It's, you know, it's what it is. And there's a reason that that does not look like green grass to me. I mean, there's a reason that people say drink water. Point is, I've heard some people that that they started off, they decided to sort of quit soda, I guess. And so they weren't going to drink soda anymore, and they just started drinking water. And it was like, cool. And then they would try to have a soda again, and it would just taste, it would taste way too sugary for them. And I feel that way a lot of the time, like, if I ever have a sip of someone's soda, aside from, you know, like Sprite or ginger ale, it's like, wow, this is really sugary. It's like drinking sugar water. And I can't do it. And so it's like, I've been turned off. But the other thing I don't like that a lot of water drinkers do like is infused water. You know, you get the water and it's like water with lemon or water with orange or whatever. And I can't do it. I don't like it. I don't like any taste in my water that isn't water. And maybe that's me being weird, but every time we go into a restaurant, Madison orders water with lemon, and I order water without lemon. I say, please, no lemon. Is that weird? No idea. Does it matter? No, probably not. But I like water. I like water. It's refreshing. It is what it is. Dean says, I have some of the cleanest water in the country, so I should be utilizing that. Yeah. Drink water. Drink less water if you live in Flint, Michigan. I have well water. I win. Well, we have well water down the beach house, but I wouldn't drink that. Well, I would, but I would drink it after it's been through a Brita pitcher. I basically exclusively drink Brita pitcher filtered water because that is the way that I am. I believe that to be superior to all kinds of water. And don't at me. So, oops. I'll leave that spot of dirt there. Give me that. If you live in Flint, drink booze. Fancy Fan says I live in a desert. Beat that. Graham lives in a desert. I've been there. It's awful. Alright, there we go. See, the thing is, these, gravel lots were a lot more present in this day and age. You didn't have the urge to actually pave everything. Hose. You're a hoe. I'm not gonna drink out of my hose. Maybe when I was a small child, but even then. Like I said, I don't even drink straight from the tap. I don't like tap water. I also don't want tap water because it's not not even that it's not filtered, it's not cold enough. Unless it's wintertime, then I don't see the appeal in tap water at all. It's like, take the water, filter it, put it in the fridge for a couple hours, and then when you come back to it, then, you know, then it'll be better. And it is. It's water's best flavor is cold. Unfortunately, I have a friend who cannot drink anything very hot or very cold because of their teeth. Because it messes with their teeth. And I was like, that is really unfortunate because you haven't tried my water. I don't want to try your water. Our water that comes out of the hose is the same that comes out of the faucet. You can just drink out of the hose. Well, I don't want to drink right out of the hose. I want it put through a Brita pitcher. Thank you. That's what I like. Finally bothered to join the Discord, says Trist's channel. Welcome to the Discord. Everyone give him a welcome and a pineapple. Let's see. Room temperature water I find disgusting. That's because it is disgusting. You're right. You're right to find it disgusting. There's basically no reason not to. I don't want to drink room temperature water. Well, Graham, you're wrong. You know what I like at room temperature? This is gonna be... I'm about to drop a bombshell in this thing. You know what I like at room temperature and also flat? You know what's better the morning after you open it? Ginger ale. If there is... You know, if I have a ginger ale, you know, pour myself a glass of ginger ale, and then drink half of it, I will leave it. I will leave it there, and I will come back to it, you know, the next morning or the next afternoon, and I will finish it then, and it will be delicious. I don't like other sodas flat. I just like ginger ale. But then again, I don't really like other sodas to begin with, so that explains why that. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's get that out of here. Let's see, can I have some sort of administration building? How about our office? Yard office building. I kind of want to put this over here, actually. So I wanted to put a little building on this side of the area. Right there. That's me. I'm having flashbacks from attempting to drink water from a hose on a summer day only for it to be scalding hot. Ugh. You gotta let it flow first. And not to mention tasting like rubber. Yeah, that's not great. That's not what you want to do. Alright, that's cute, but I don't want it there. I've done your bidding, Ellis. Pineapple has been delivered. Lol. What? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I understand. I appreciate you doing that. That is the right thing to do. Still need a emoji for it, though. Get rid of that. I want that without the, Alice, can you just add the emojis so it doesn't take forever to get 10? No. I will do it when we get to 10. Come up with a couple. If you haven't come up with any, you've got 2 slots to fill. And if we don't like them later, we can get rid of them. Okay. Okay, so let's put this over here. This is on the download station now. We'll take that. Thank you for reminding me on the emojis, Graham. Yeah, well, we gotta get those emojis in. Gotta get them in. When they're done, they're done. Oh, I'm escaping again. Stop. It's not normally this bad, but I guess this place is getting busier and busier. Alright, what else do we need? Well, we need more chain link fences. Okay, there's a wall office spline. That doesn't seem like something I would want to deal with. Let's see. Put that there. String it along this way, along the road. I want to bring it to a point over here. There's already a brick emoji. Well, see, Milky has a bricks emoji. You know, he hasn't submitted that as one for the server, but that could be one. He has a TH and bricks emoji. We could have someone popping out of an open trunk, or we can just have a trunk. Can we have Brightline hitting somebody? Maybe that's too morbid. Let's see, I want some sort of, I want a forklift in this yard. Okay, that's fine. And I also want some piles of lumber and piles of metal. That's Rollins Pass stuff. Let's see. I do want all kinds of lumber over here. I'll take the Brightline, lol. Yeah, no, we need that. I also want one, like, I don't know how you would do this and show it off properly, but what is it, the engine in Back to the Future, it's Sierra number 3. I want that going off of the bridge. I want a thing of that going off the bridge. Oh man, so I just realized lumberyard, right? We don't have a lumberyard. We could use a lumberyard, and I don't know where to put it exactly. So we have the opportunity to throw one in, because this town doesn't have one, and like most towns have a lumberyard. But maybe I could put the lumberyard over. I don't know where I would put it over here. Actually, there's no room for it. But lumber would probably come into the narrow gauge. I'm gonna draw my Toyota Corolla trunk. Alright, good luck, Graham. Let me do this. CPU is at 100%. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm at 3,000. Alright, I don't know why it's doing that then. There are animated emojis. I'll see what I can do next week since spring break, lol. Don't do animated emojis. Just stick with regular. I don't want to have to worry about losing, like, I think you can only do animated emojis when the server is boosted, and if we no longer have the boosters, I don't want to worry about, you know, being locked out of using the emojis, which is also why I want to keep it down to 50 instead of 100. Yeah, I don't know exactly how all of that works, but I am, you know, I don't want to try and push it. I want to know where Milky got that THB emoji. He should submit it so that we can have it on the server though. Alright, so let's put this over here. That's some pretty coarse looking gravel, but that's fine, that's good. And I mean, this milling company, this is going to be all, Pata Kovar says hi. Hi, Pata, if that's how you pronounce it. Or Pata. I see there's like an apostrophe. This crane is supposed to be out of service. Graham's gonna take a picture of his car and send it to somebody else. Send it to a stranger online. You should send him your license plate. Make sure the license plate's in the picture. Can we get like a gulag emoji? I don't know how you would do that. I don't know how you would represent that, but a gulag emoji would be funny. Like, you know, that would indicate, you know, gulag this person. Probably tomorrow, Graham says, because he's in bed. Get out of bed, Graham. It is 6 o'clock p.m. It's probably still light there. You were doing exercise earlier. You were going for a walk. You should be ashamed of yourself. Just kidding. I was in bed, like, at 6 o'clock yesterday. I had a long night the previous day, and I was like, I'm finally home. Gotta go to bed. Time to go to bed. I got my daily and laid down. And that was pretty much the end of my day, except the end of the day, then I had to go and drive somewhere, like I said. But, and, you know, also going to be explained by I wasn't really feeling well. Graham says it's getting dark. Graham, send your credit card number and PIN as well. Make sure you get those 3 numbers on the back. Steve from Minecraft needs your help. Dave Mitchell asked, did you guys talk about the Tennessee Pass article? Not the most recent one, but it'll come up on next podcast. I discussed it very briefly with Weibold, but I haven't had the chance to read it yet, so I have yet to be able to react on it. We're trying to get a man on the inside, but attempts so far have failed. Attempts so far have been unsuccessful. Fine, Graham, you chill. You do what you want to do, man. So this. I think I'm gonna have like I'm gonna use sidewalk over here, maybe to make like a patio looking thing. Because that's what every business needs, a patio. This is not the kind of thing where in this day and age you would have, oh, here's your picnic tables and, you know, whatever. All this stuff that was presented to you by you know, by this Silicon Valley tech firm that that provides all these comforts of your daily life, so you never have to go home. You know, I've seen some pretty good representations of that on TV, and I am working in a field where sometimes it feels like the company wants to do that. Sometimes it feels like they are on the cusp of providing us everything, you know. Until we get an office with showers, I think it's going to be a little different. But I swear to God, they set the place up like, oh, you know, and if you ever need to stay the night or forever, Dave Mitchell says, well, the Tennessee Pass might come back to life with another railroad running it. Well, we did talk about that on the most recent terminus, I'm pretty sure. And that is exciting, but the most recent article is UP basically rejecting their terms. So I know they're trying really hard. Brady, it's going to be the... what is the name of it? It's a relatively small, like a class 3. They currently move grain around. And is welfare capitalism calling? They currently move grain around, and this would be them getting the grain further west faster by buying Tennessee Pass. They would still have to make a oh crap. They would still have to make a connection with Union Pacific at Dotsero, but it would mean it would get there faster. Union Pacific obviously has no short line. I'm 100% with you on that. There's obviously no intention. Like, they don't really want to run trains over Tennessee Pass. Union Pacific doesn't, I mean. And they, you know, so currently it takes quite some time for grain to get westward. And if it went the other way, it would be much more direct. If it went over Tennessee Pass, it would be much more direct, it would be faster. And that is what this other company is trying to get. Union Pacific doesn't really want to play ball. Brady, I saw that. Anyway, I noticed you deleted it. Shoreline, that is an interesting thing to say. I had not considered that. The Kansas and Oklahoma, yeah, I believe so. I believe there's Kansas in there somewhere, so it's, Brady, I saw it the first time. Hey, Ellis, you want to talk communism? Of course I do. Of course I do. I've been playing Hearts of Iron. Of course I do. But perhaps not today. This thing I call communism. Soviet anthem ear rape begins blasting in the background. Hey, Matt. Matt's back. Shoreline says, unless Union Pacific is a buyer for the entire DRGW, I've heard a rumor with Montana Rail Link. That is not something I had ever thought. I'm interested as to where the rumor is coming from, not because I think it's not good, but just because I want to know. So, like, that is interesting. Kansas and Oklahoma, a Watco subsidiary. Ah, okay. Uh-oh. That back where it was and rotate it like 1 more degree. I want to put this right. Nope, too far. No reason why the Union Pacific do not want to do it, because if it happens, they lose some money. Well, they would have competition over the pass there. That they don't want. I can understand them not wanting to do it, but the law is the law, and when it comes down to it, I don't think Union Pacific is going to do too well. Mostly because I can't really see the state of Colorado cutting them any slack. They really haven't done the state any favors, and the fact that the state just bought Burnham is kind of a... It's pointing to that, you know? So, yeah, if the state of Colorado decides, what do you mean you're not giving them this? We're you know, we're absolutely, you know, this is happening, and whether you like it or not. I wouldn't really be that surprised. I'd be like, damn, Colorado, go get them. But I wouldn't be surprised. And I really hope that the Kansas and Oklahoma can pull this thing off. Actually, fun fact about the Kansas and Oklahoma, they don't have any track in the state of Oklahoma. Interesting. Well, to be fair, the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington never made it to Waterville or Farmington, so... well, Colorado about to force the hands on Union Pacific to give it up to a non-railroad. Well, hope they do. Hope the dreams come true. Let it happen, baby. Okay, let's see. I didn't really intend for these guys to be a scrap dealer, but it is what it is right now. Let's see, can I just get, That's funny. I mean, I'll be impressed. I'll be, you know... I would definitely think it bold of them. Why bold of them? But they are Colorado. They've got some cojones. They are not afraid to take a leap. Alright, let's if it do happen, it karma for how they treated everybody. Yeah, that's probably fair. That is probably fair. If Union Pacific gets shafted in this deal, I could, you know, it'd be like, you know, yeah, what else can you do but point and laugh? Alright, steel industry, steel pipes. Look at those pipes. pipes coming out. Tank steel mill. Do that. Let's put that there. Actually, let's not. I would kind of like... Okay, that's interesting. I would kind of like a tank out here. Like, just a couple of, I don't care if it's a little one. I mean, if it's a water tank, it's a water tank. But... let's see. Tank steel mill, tank truck, tank white, tank mat. I could use that in the future. I want something that's like a pressurized tank. Ooh, that's actually good. A brine tank is good. That I like. And Ellis is pebbles to Wybold. I don't know what that means. Wybold is life, Ellis is pebbles to Wybold. Okay. You know what? I get you like him more than me. Whatever, it's fine. Pensy, I sent you a friend request. Well, that was a mistake. Pensy, don't accept it. Whatever you do. For some reason, it wouldn't let me chat on computer. Well, I could see whatever you were saying. Unless I missed something. For the record, if somebody is trying to get my attention with something in the Discord during the stream, ping me. Because I've got messages that I haven't read. So it's just showing up as the circle, but if it shows up as something else, you know, if it shows up as the one, then I'm obligated to go and look at it. I was expecting to get a phone call for somebody who needed math help today, and that didn't happen. There was a railroad that is connected to Tennessee Pass called the Leadville Railroad, which is a tour railroad. Yeah, that exists. The Royal Gorge also exists, and Rock and Rail also exists. Yeah. And Patrick just brought it up, so that's good timing. You've got 3 railroads which operate on or near Tennessee Pass, and then Union Pacific, which is another railroad which owns Tennessee Pass. So I don't know what portions, if any, they don't own. Oh shoot, I'm going to the trunk now, aren't I? Yes. Wybold is Steamy Boy of Steam knowledge. That is accurate. Wybold is... he is the guy. He has knowledge. And... yeah, so... the Leadville Railroad, I don't think that's going to be big. Unless they decide to try and reconnect to the mine there, which would be possible, but difficult. More politically difficult than anything because of the parts that are disconnected. But the railroad there, I mean, I don't think the Royal Gorge really cares. They already deal with Rock and Rail, and they probably have to make a deal, but I don't see them really running afoul of anybody here or really causing any trouble. They're just going to keep existing. Matthew says he had his first math tutor session today. Cool. I hope it was very beneficial. I really liked being a tutor when I was one. Unfortunately, the thing that sucked is that I've fallen behind so far, or so much. I haven't done a lot of stuff in so many years. All the calculus. I don't feel like I can actively, properly help somebody with calc anymore. Despite the fact that I could probably do it before. It's the kind of thing where, now that I don't use it, I have completely lost it. And people say, use it or lose it, and it's absolutely true, because here I am. If you're going to be a tutor and that sort of stuff, it's the kind of thing that you have to either use all the time, or you have to really brush up when you tutor it. Someone needed calc help, and I basically said, hey, listen, let me know, but I'm not the best person in the group for that. I will go and find other people that will be able to help. A bunch of grain locals is right. It's also owned by an heir to a multi-billion-dollar fortune, and I'm pretty sure the guy is some sort of incarnation of Dr. Evil, or just another James Bond villain, actually. If I found out this guy had a death laser and a tank of ill-tempered sea bass, I would not be surprised even a little. The weirdest thing about the guy is that he looks like some dude you would meet outside of Fenway Park at, 2 p.m. on a weekday. He's just a dude. Yeah, but anyway, the Royal Gorge and Rock and Rail. I mean, Rock and Rail, they might be a little bit... They might have something to work on in terms of negotiations. But I highly doubt that the Royal Gorge is going to really be any sort of trouble with what's going on right now. I think so anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. These things, they get messy, but I don't think you're going to see a major change. At least not from there. He's also Russian. Duh. Calculus is not fun. Who just said that? Pensy Fan, you're a liar. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to people like that. Also, what is 2 plus 2? Well, I would posit that the answer is 5. And I'll tell you why. 2 plus 2 is 5 for high values of 2. Unusually high values of 2. 2, what is 2? Well, if you're looking at 2, say in Excel, if you see in a cell that it says 2, then you can assume it's 2, but it might not just be 2. Because if you have your cells set to round automatically, know that it doesn't change the underlying value, it just changes what you're seeing. So, ergo, that 2 might be something as high as 2.49, and you're seeing it as just 2. So if you have more than one of these 2s, say 2 2s, and I do actually mean 2 2s, you're seeing either just a value of 4, 2 and 2, or some other value. If you add them together, you might not get 2. If you add them together, you might not get 4. You might get 5. Because that 2 might not be 2. It might be 2.4. And if you go in and you have these 2 cells that both say 2, they both sure look like 2, and then you make a new cell, and you say add the other 2 cells together. And you have it set to the same thing where it'll hide all the decimal points, or all the numbers after the whole number, so it'll just show you the whole number. If you are thinking you're adding 2 plus 2, because you are, it says 2 and it says 2, you put those 2 together, and it comes out rounded as 5. And you think, how could that be? I put 2 and 2 together and got 5. Well, because those aren't just 2. Those are abnormally high values of 2. It's above what 2 usually is, but it's still 2. So, 2 plus 2 is 5 for high values of 2. And not more needs to be said on the subject. Now, it'll work the other way as well. You could probably get 2 plus 2 equals 3 for very low values of 2. Although you might actually not be able to do that. I mean, 1.6 plus 1.6... Yeah, it's 3.2, which rounded down to 3. So you can get 2 plus 2 equals 3 for very low values of 2. It's a thing. It's possible. Does it make sense mathematically? No, not really. But when you look at it, it works. And then Shortline's asking the real questions. Shortline, nobody really knows. What are numbers? What is life? Existential crisis time. Oh man, my life. That was not spontaneous, by the way. If I want to make this worse for myself, that was not spontaneous. My 2 plus 2 equals 5 spiel, that is not new. I have come up with that before. I've heard the phrase 2 plus 2 equals 5 for large values of 2, and I set about figuring out how to explain that, and that is where it got me, and I hope it was satisfactory. So that's what we can think about today. What does 2 plus 2 really equal? And then the Vsauce music starts. Hey guys. Michael here. Alright, so I don't even know what this industry is going to be. I know I'm going to have to come through here. I'm going to add trailers and stuff like that. Whoa! Alright. This milling company came out way better than I thought it would. I'm just going to need to add, again, trailers, trucks, and cars in the parking lot. This is going to be a big parking lot with cars in it. They found a dead body in your local quarry. Man, so, story time. When my dad was young, they used to go down to the flooded quarries along Route 1. He and his friends. There was a quarry. And they used to leap off the rocks into the quarry. Do you really think the Tennessee Pass is going to be reopened? I think it's a possibility. I think it's a real strong possibility. I think it's a possibility now more than it has been in the last, 20 years. The fact that there's pressure coming from somewhere, that's a new development. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I can't say for certain whether it's going to be reopened. And I can't really peg its likeliness anywhere. Do I think that it's more or less likely than 5550? I don't know. That's a good question. I think that's more likely than 5550 actually going and breaking the speed record. But I think that's probably going to happen anyway. So, hey, you never know. There are lots of never knows in this world, and this sure is one of them. We'll have to see how it comes out. Okay, so here is where I'm going to put the old rail yard. This is going to be owned by the current railroad operators. Let's see, can we find... What's the oldest fence we can find? I want... Oh, you can get barbed wire. Nice. Okay, yeah, sorry. Back to the story time. My dad used to jump into the quarry with his friends. And he said, once upon a time, they were down there, and someone dared him to go jump off the other side. Now, you could probably assume that there was a girl involved. He was probably trying to, he was either trying to impress his friends or he was trying to impress a girl. Now, it was one of the two. David Mitchell says railroads are making a profit right now. They usually do. If they don't, that's a problem. For them, anyway. Sometimes if railroads really don't make a profit, they are a problem for other railroads. Penn Central. Ruining the livelihood of the banker and Aroostook. I suppose that wasn't really because they weren't making a profit. It's because they were garbage. Anyway, sorry. So, they dared him to go around the other side of the quarry and to jump there. To jump off and... sorry. The company that wants to do it already rebuilt the Exmo pack between Channel and Pueblo. I think they can do it. There's always a girl involved, Ellis. Yeah, I mean, there probably is. Probably was. They dared him to jump off the other side of the quarry, and he did it. And then he recanted to me that sometime later he thought about just how stupid he was. Because he didn't know if there was a submerged rock under there or something. He could have broken his legs, busted his head. He could have been unconscious. He could have drowned. But he didn't. But that doesn't mean it was a smart thing to do. Like when 1-0 came up. Best part of the podcast. 1-0. And but then he decided, he shared this story with me, and then he decided that we were going to try and find this quarry. And we knew it was down by the beaches. We knew it was off of Route 1. He didn't know the road, and I wasn't that adept at using Google Maps at the time. So, and also I was younger. I'm not sure Google Maps was nearly as powerful as it is today. And Pat is recanting the lyrics to Jump. Is that Van Halen or Aerosmith? That's Aerosmith, right? Yeah, that's Aerosmith. We set out to find this quarry just so he could show me this thing from his past, and I thought that was awesome. I was like, he and I were going to find this thing from his childhood, and not only is it a cool old quarry because I thought that was neat, that was flooded, uh, which I suppose yours isn't, Brady, if they found a body in it so easily. Uh, we're going on an adventure. We're on this quest to find this quarry. Now, we went down a couple of roads, hiked down a couple of trails, really looked. And we weren't getting lucky. We were not finding anything, which was really a shame. Oh, it's Van Halen? Damn it. Damn it. Those two bands in my head are almost the same. And I know they shouldn't be. But they exist, they both exist on my iPod. I hear them both. And I can never, like, I can tell the difference when a song is on, but in my head they're almost the same. Body in the Working Quarry, yikes. Where I went to high school, there was a quarry down the road, and they used to blast every day at noon. And you'd see all the freshmen get worried about it. Like, what was that? What was that? Oh, it was the quarry. The quarry. Oh, God. Alright, 36. Let's see what's available for me here. I need rusty unused. There we go. Yeah. So we went on a quest to find this quarry. Sorry, I'm having so much trouble finishing this story. We looked and looked. We weren't finding anything. We went, you know, one last place, one final effort. Okay, we went down this road, pulled off the highway. He's like, I don't recognize it. I don't think we're in the right place. This area was super overgrown and everything. And then we stop and we look over and there are these giant signs, giant orange signs, warning signs. Swimming in the quarry is prohibited. And Dad is like, I guess this is the place. Just for that, also I'm making Jump the song of the day. That's great. Do it. Do it. I live like a mile from the quarry. It's been there since the 1800s. They used the rock from it to complete the Washington Monument. That's really cool. Didn't they, like, take pieces from the Washington Monument for every state or something like that? I knew there was something neat about that. But anyway, we saw these signs, and because of the signs and nothing else, we found the quarry. There was no other indication that was, that it was there. But it was like, no swimming in quarry. And my dad was like, so I guess we're in the right place. And sure enough, we were. We went, we walked through the woods a little bit, and there it was. Really, relatively, uninteresting, but it was really cool for me to see that. Because it was a piece of my father's history, and it really did mean something. Let's see. You know what? Let me try to do something really stupid here. Can I roll this? No. I'm gonna sink this sucker into the ground. Hold on. What? Doesn't allow height change. Yeah, let's see how you allow height change now. Oh, you know what? Let's, Oh, can I? Hold on. Give me that. So I keep getting distracted. Rail only. Oh, wait, I want the unused. Oh, wait a minute. There is no unused rail only. Let's, can I get, like, a single rail in here? So those windows are interesting. Where's the end of the line? Hold on. End of. End of road? End of the line 4. That's what I'm looking for. End of the line 1. Let's just, I want to put this at the mouth of this shed. When I was younger, I was visiting my aunt in Kansas. We drove by my family's old land. It was kind of cool. Don't remember where it is, though. It's the same sort of thing. It is just so cool to find these, you know, these pieces of history that are only really history to your family or you or whatever, but that makes them that much more special. It makes them unique. I mean, I suppose that swimming in the quarry was not particularly unique if they had to put up a sign about it, but the, you know, the fact of the matter is, it was still something that was special about that he remembered enough that he wanted to tell me about it. I map out all the abandoned rail lines here in South Carolina. I mean, and that is cool. It's not quite in the same vein, but it's cool. Hold on. Let's just do this. I don't want to bother with worrying about switch points here. So I'm just gonna overlay these guys. I feel like when people build abandoned stuff, they don't really consider the fact that, like, at some point it wasn't abandoned. I feel like, yeah, it's a family. Matthew said, yeah, it's almost as if it's a family heirloom. It's a family heirloom in the sense that it's like it's a memory. It's a memory, and an heirloom doesn't have to be a specific thing. It can be like a story that gets passed down. I mean, by definition, yeah, an heirloom is a specific thing, but you don't have to adhere to that. You know, you can call you can call whatever you want an heirloom. Anyway, the thing I was saying was that I feel like plenty of people, they'll build abandoned stuff and they'll make it so ratty and broken, or just so disjointed or so weird that it could have never worked in it could have never worked in reality. And so I'm putting this together and I'm trying to find like, okay, what would this initial terminal, what might it have looked like? And let's see. Shoreline asks, what is this abandoned area? So this abandoned area is the original engine house, etc. for the Mason Valley Railroad, also known as the Valley Line, which was the original 3-foot gauge railroad that ran here. Can I roll this? Oh, whoops, I need to use this. Damn. No, it does not allow rolling. Build abandoned stuff is one of my favorite things to do on a trains route. It really does. It's environmental storytelling is what it is. And that, it can really make a route just what isn't there anymore. and it can really tell a lot of history without it necessarily having to be written out. This is going to be like number 3's shit at the EBT, where it's, you know, just basically completely grassed in. Could slide that engine a little further in, but I think we're going to leave it right there. Let's see, I had some scrap wheels and trucks. So let's pile that stuff over here. Scrap cylinder. Yeah. Scrap wheels. Take a look at the Geigertown Central Railroad Museum. Building that in-game is fun. I assume that there is I assume that it's a nice mess. Scrap wheels. See, the thing about these is they're going to be the wrong gauge. And that's, you know, this area is supposed to be X 3 foot. Let's just sink these in the ground a little bit. Ellis, I have 2 spices I'm about to send you. Spices? Spicy what? Spicy memes? I'll take some spicy memes. That said, I could also use some spicy foods. Like, I could use some wings, actually. If anybody wants to send me wings. Okay, so that's taking up this area. That's fine. And then this is going to be like a road connection of sorts. Because this land was ceded to the company here. Whatever it is, this warehouse company. But yeah. The thing about building abandoned stuff is the Geigertown Central Railroad Museum was a railroad museum that was being established in the early 90s. I've heard you talk about it before, but I really don't know much about it. I think you went there and took pictures recently, didn't you? I saw the pictures. It looks a little rough. Owner was tragically killed when RBMN railroad crane toppled onto him. Jesus, that's... Talk about bad kinds of coincidences. There's a couple of Rock Island bridges in town that I know where they are. Yeah, when you're doing something like this, build it unabandoned first, or at least in your head. Make sure you know what it's supposed to look like, or what it was supposed to look like. Because once you know that, then you know what to take out to abandon it. And, yeah, I winged this, but I'd like to think that I've done enough of it to know what I'm going to do. I knew there was going to be a shed here, and I knew there needed to be some outbuildings. Now, one of the other things I want to do is I want to add maybe just a couple of... Yeah, like this. You know, some things that would be for a railroad in this area. Now, clear that. Give me that. So, whoops. No. Make that smaller. I did fence this whole area in. I did that on purpose. There's no way in. This area is basically cordoned off by the railroad. They don't want anybody trespassing over there and messing with stuff, but they really don't care about it. It was probably cordoned by the railroad as much as it was by other people. Rapunzi and I have teamed up as trunk god and secondary trunk god. We have a religion, and Matt will be the first victim. Why does a religion need victims? That's my first concern. I mean, you could be like the Aztecs, I guess. They had a religion, and they were completely... They weren't sexist because, you know, they sacrificed both men and women. That's, you know, good job, Aztecs. Being, you know, being non-discriminatory with your murder in the name of God. Are you gods? Let's see. I want a dirt road, or a gravel road, I guess. Yeah, I want a gravel road here. Northern end of my right line is supposed to be a line... sorry, the northern end of my right is supposed to be a line that's been recently put back into service. There's going to be a bunch of abandoned stuff up there. That's cool. One of the things you could do if you really wanted to stretch it is you could build, quote-unquote, the line out a little farther and leave stuff out there, and maybe even leave, you know, part of a ghost town or something that used to be over there. You make that sound dirty, Graham. Stop it. What are you doing, step bro? I think I put this in the Discord, says Patrick Fox, but the local PBS station here made a good railroad program showcasing the old Santa Fe depot and Hispanics in the industry when the railroad first came. That's cool. I always like that, and they did this during the 150th as well. You know, sometimes it might feel like too much. You know, it's, oh, these guys, and then these guys, and then these guys, and then these guys. You know, to break down all of the different groups that may have helped with, say, building the railroads or some other such thing. But A, everyone deserves their spot in the sun, and B, you have to remember that, you know? At a time when we always seem to end up divided, and a time where we always seem to be at each other's throats, we need to remember that every group of Americans is American. That's the thing about this country. We came here. We are a nation of immigrants, for the most part, of course, not discounting the Native Americans. But the important takeaway is not that we all came here, but that we all are here. That to be an Italian, you must be born Italian to Italian parents in Italy. To be an American, all you need do is come. And that is something unique and beautiful about this country. Something that I think we all need to remember. You know, your neighbor is still your neighbor, and they should be your friend. Even if their dog poops on your lawn constantly. I'm not bitter. I don't know. That's my soapboxing for today. Gunda says a house divided cannot stand, and they are correct. Like I have said, I pass by my Abe Lincoln billboard just about every morning, and it says exactly that. And we need to remember that. And we need to remember to be friends and Americans first. For those of you that are listening from Canada, well, once we tried to make you Americans, but you burned down the White House in response, so sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Anyway, back to Shortline's route. He says it connects with the former IC, now CN. It connects with BNSF and UP on the southern end. So are you saying the northern end that's abandoned connects with the IC? I'm not sure I understand. Or maybe there's more to this route than I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're only connected on you know, on the ends. Or are you saying that the whole of the track is no longer abandoned, it just was previously? Because that can make sense as well. Oh, Canada. I'm moving to Canada. Alright, let's do that. Let's do this. Alright. And we're filling this area in. I could actually add more here, but I'm trying to keep most of the ground cover gone here. You know, there are no trees in town. They're all outside. They were all clear cut. And I could add some stumps over here. That would probably be good. Now, oh, Canada stuck in my head. God damn it. What have you done? Why have you done this to me? I'm an American, God damn it. I don't need to put up with this. Alright. Right there. Just to come back to it, though, for 1 second. Even with politics. You and I, it's compacted so you'll figure out when I post the full history. Okay. Even though we may not all like the same people, we may not all like the same policies. Both you and me, and yes, even the politicians. Everyone has a vision for America. Everyone has a vision of what it should be and what they want it to be. And even though it may not agree, we all want what we want. And we all want something because we think it is the best for this country. Now, maybe people in high places, maybe they only want the best for themselves. But I know at the end of the day, more than likely, you and me, you being the viewer and me being myself, we're almost certainly more... Oh, the switch lever's in there. We're almost certainly more similar than we are different. And that's something to remember. Okay, give me these switch levers. Alright, I need this. Speaking of Canada, CN route is going to be changed to the Canadian Prairie because it's obvious I can't make mountains. Man, I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you. Get a dem from Kevon or something. Ask Kevon or Milky or anyone else who is good at dem work. Ask them to make you a dem. They will help. Let's see. Orange, green. That's what I want here. I want... Uh-oh. I want orange to be the through, though, so I gotta put it on the other side. There we go. Wait a minute, now it's the flag is... let's see. Can I get an orange-green right, please? Orange-green right. Let's try that one. Alright, so it's gonna be backwards, whatever. Yeah. It's important to remember. Oh, damn it, I named this before... Mine is in the Flat Louisiana Bayou, because I can't do good terrain. Thankfully, Dems are there to help you with that, but ultimately, it's just as good that you can hold on. MV Caboose Dispatch. It's just as good to have a flat route as it is to have a hilly one. It's just as good to have a dem route as it is to have a homemade one. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing any of that. Oh my god, can you please let me control my camera? So, don't put yourself down, which it doesn't sound like you are, but don't put yourself down for having a flat route. Flat routes are... They're plenty fine. As long as you have some sort of minor variation that's realistic, you know? Yeah, most everything is pretty darn flat, but, you know, in a flat place. Most everything's pretty darn flat. But you still have, okay, well, here's a bump. Here's a rock. Here is a, you know, a little creek that's running through. You can get really, really windy creeks out of it. Speaking of dams, my friend Ryan and I are going to use a dem to build the old Baltimore and Annapolis short line. That'll be cool. Uh-oh. Come on, computer, please. There. there. I'm just going to use these targetless switch stands because... Actually, for the ones on the main, I'll use these. And I will name them now, because I haven't done that yet. I think we've got some good stuff done today. We actually started to work over there. Which, I mean, it's going to be a bear, but we're doing it. The other thing is, I like doing these streams because it's easier to make them more long form. Or at least I'm, like, more incentivized to make them more long form. And that means I can get more done, even if I do get distracted more. Ellis, I sent the spices. Oh, God. Oh, we sent them directly. He DM'd me. Oh, okay, they're... Okay, gotcha. Thanks. You should have waited. You should have waited. I'm not going to do that now. But remind me and I'll get back to them. Graham says we know Ryan. Well, some people might not. Okay. Especially Gunda. He might not know who Ryan is, if he's still here. I'm thinking about putting the route in Saskatchewan and maybe make it follow a river. That's going to be fun because if you decide to, if you so decide, you can have a winter route. And that'll be pretty neat. I do very much like those because then you really get to play around with, okay, what is the ground going to look like? What is everything going to look like? And, you know, in a way that you don't necessarily otherwise. You know, I am building a route that, yeah, you know, maybe it'd have, oh, you know what, I don't actually want green. I kind of want orange and white. Stop! 587 Overlord. Yes, and who Ryan? Yeah, see, there it is. Ryan's a guy. He's an I-8 guy. Okay, so let's get... Ryan is Ryan, says Dean. Hello, Dean. And you're right, Ryan is Ryan. Nothing more, nothing less. Not inaccurate. Very truthful. Dean is being very truthful. Okay, let's see. Is that... That is not the right way. I need the other one. Orange, green, left. Oh. And it attached to the narrow gauge track. There we go. As for you, will that be right? Nope, because it never is right the first time. That one. My mouse just ceased to work. No, not that one, actually. That one. Junction 4,528,866. Somehow I get the feeling we have fewer junctions than that, but hey, I'm not going to argue. Let's see. I want... Yeah, green and orange. Or maybe green and red even, but... Alright, well that one's correct anyway. This one's going to be tricky. Because I've got to get... that for... That's the standard gauge. And then let's get a harp for the narrow gauge so that they look right. Yeah, in a couple spots you'll notice we didn't use the harps, and the reason is we didn't have enough room. Ellis, I sent some Yeetus K27s for the GMR. One early K27 with slope back circle number plate and box headlight, and one traditional K27. And if I didn't say K27 every time, I meant K27 every time. Alright. Nope. 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 Come on. Grab it. Grab it like you want it. There we go. Alright. Yeah. Actually, can I... No. What about this one? Is that dual gauge track? It's actually... for purposes of playing, yes. But really, no. Alright, that one's wrong. What about this? Alright, that's fine. It's actually standard gauge and narrow gauge laid on top of one another, literally. Because dual gauge track doesn't work how you hope it would in trains. So instead, we just deal with this. Whoops, that's got to go on that side. All of this, I'm just going to use the unmarked ones because we are doing hand throws in a factory setting. It's weird because I have trains mobile, I need a computer, and all I have from the download station is Canadian stuff. That's pretty cool, eh? Okay, so what are we going to name all these switch stands? Also, did I miss any? I'm not sure I've done the ones down here. Yeah, I haven't done this. Let's see, New Century. Let's do this green and orange again. I kind of like the green and orange. And let's do that. We've got that swing bridge there. And then everything along here is going to be green and orange. With the green being straight through. So let's flip the side of that. Let's flip the side of this. Or well, let's put that. Yep, that works. And then both the U's. That's not right. Flip it to the other side. And that's fine the way it is. Alright, cool. Now let's continue down here. Let's do these two. And we'll leave Doe Cliff for now because we're leaving Doe Cliff for later. And I need to replace those pedestal signals. They really don't work. The programming on the signals themselves is a little shoddy, and I don't like it. So, okay, so I don't know what half these things are going to be. Really, realistically. I don't even have names for some of them. But the thing we need to do is name the switch stands themselves for things like this. MV, this is going to be the GE Roundhouse Lead 1. Actually, that's just going to be regular. I don't need to put ones on the end of everything. We're not in the module. And then this is going to be MVGE Roundhouse Crossover. And then MVGE Roundhouse Crossover South. I guess the other one has to be north. Actually, this one is south. Damn it! I'm looking south right now. South. There we go. And then this is going to be the MV Bleachery Spur. And then MV GE Sheep Spur. And then this one's going to be the MV GMR Sheep Spur. I wanted to keep it down to 2 letters. Just name a switch brick. No, I'm not going to do that. I like lamp. MVGE GE Bleachery Warehouse Spur. And then the MVGE Bleachery Coal Spur. MVGE Bleachery Loading Dock. Okay. Alright, so that's done. Stop spinning, goddammit. Yeah, something's just out of whack today. Dean said I called. Did I? Oh, right, lamp. Duh. Sorry, that took me a second. Okay, so what did we name all these tracks? We have track marks here. So this is 8, so 1 is over here. MV Yard 1. So we don't need a thing on that. That's fine. This is MVGE Yard 1, 2, or sorry, 2, 3. MVGE Yard 1, 3. And then MVGE, wait a minute. Whoops. MVGE Yard Main. This is going to be MVGE Yard. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4, 4, 5 Main. MVGE Yard 6, 7 Main. MVGE Yard 4, 5. Now, one of the important things to do when you're doing a project like this is to find a good naming system and then be consistent about it so that you know what you need to look for if you need to find something. I didn't do that at all. So, on things that I would do differently, that is one of them. Yard 8 Main. Okay. MVGE pass run around south. That's the south end. Uh-oh. I don't know what we're yelling about. Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks for the reference. MVGE pass run around north. Okay, thank you. Now these are named. That's good. That's what I wanted out of today. To name switch stands. And I won't do those. Staying on this side of the river. Save myself some grief and some time. I'm expecting a phone call because it just crossed 9 o'clock. But I don't know if I'm actually going to get one. So we'll have to see. I'm going to get off when Madison gets home probably, or when she says she's going to be on her way home, but I don't think that's for a little while because she has errands to run. I told her I was doing this. Let's see. Let's grab that gravel road again, I guess. Where'd it go? It's behind me. I think. And I'm gonna lead this gravel road literally right onto this spur here. Why? Not really sure. I'm cruel, I guess. Oh, there it is. Just kidding, that was Graham. F you, Graham. Just for you, I set up my voicemail, Graham. You can go and leave me a voicemail. Please don't, actually. Or I'll tell your mom that you came to see us at the train station. Brightline has 25% off death. So you have to... When you buy a Brightline ticket, so you have chosen death. Alright. And the parking lot for the trolley employees is going to be over here. Or as I like to call it, smart rides. Now, it's kind of ironic to drive to your job at the interurban. But hey, it is the 50s. And this is America. Not really, but it's close. should leave Ellis a voicemail. I will not hesitate to block somebody and throw them in gulag indefinitely. You know the ultimate voicemail thing is to set it as a defect detector noise. You have reached the number of. That's what 3 of my friends have done. Your friends are foamers. And so are you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need to put all sorts of metal mess over here, but I haven't done that yet. I need to finish this because I just realized it's hovering in midair. Also, Brightline hit another car. Article in Discord. Yes. I'm not excited that they hit another car. I just like them as fodder. It just gives me more to talk about. Oh, look at that Z fighting. Gosh darn it. Let's just change this. Barely. 0.59. There, no more Z fighting. Matthew Bacon says, Graham's a foamer. He's right. Wait, Ellis, you're gonna block me? Sad react only. Everyone give him a thumbs up react. I know you can't, but... do it anyway. Do it. I should totally call Ellis right now. You totally shouldn't. This really needs to not become a thing. I wouldn't appreciate it. I already don't like getting phone calls. I would like phone calls even less if they were phone calls from you. Matt, we are all foamers, says Pat. Oh my god, we have Matt and Pat. Holy crap, I've never realized this. That's amazing. The cat with the gat. There's actually a door on this end of the building, so maybe I should grass all the way up to it. Stop spinning! I'll try spinning. That's a neat trick, says Tane every 2 seconds. It's like stream sniping except with a phone. Okay, so up here is going to be another large parking lot, but it's also going to be for trucks. I still haven't decided what this in here is going to do. Matt Pat. Welcome back, KS1. So, yeah, I need to get texture down here. That's the most important thing. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. I forgot you could do that in this chat. Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Ellis, what if I actually need to call you for something, though? Right now? Here's the thing, Mr. Boyer cried wolf. If you were to call me, if you were to tell me it was important, if you were to tell me you had to call me for something right now, and then you called me for something right now, and it wasn't important, I might never answer another phone call from you again. Because you're willing to abuse my trust. And I'm not a fan of that. So, Graham, that's just the way it is. And then the wolf will eat you. Alright. Let's fill this in with this. Well, I mean, I won't call you during stream. I'm talking about right now. If it's important, then yeah, you can call me. I'm probably going to be like, why are you calling me? And then you'd be like, it's important. I just lost my virginity to my boyfriend. And I'd be like, oh, that's really great for you, Graham. Me calling Ellis right now would almost be as good as if Brock and Chris showed up at my front door. I could send them to throw you in the trunk. I mean, on a realistic note, if According to the article on Brighton, the crash, the lady had just got her car fixed and was on a test drive with the mechanic in the passenger seat. Yikes. Did it break down and then she got hit? I mean, you could assume she was distracted talking to the mechanic about the fix. Anyway, but either way, it is also Florida. So distracted and out there is just the basic existence of life in Florida. I don't ever need to call you lol, like no offense. That's not an offense. That's a good thing. Already stated. I do not take offense to someone not needing to call me. That's fine. I'm glad. I am, despite the fact that I get on stream and and I talk about my life and I talk about everything under the sun and my cars and everything. I am an introvert in real life, and I don't like to go out, and I don't like to necessarily talk one-on-one with people because I don't know what to do with that. I like to be not the third wheel, but the comic relief, perhaps. My life motto, many people have the life motto of, live every day as if it were your last, or something like that. My life motto is live every day as if you have a live studio audience, and try to keep them laughing. Not out of pity, but, try to keep them laughing. I'll just Skype call you and then ringtone ear rape. Yeah, okay. Aren't we all introverts? I mean, I would assume that's why you're here. I'm picturing the Obi-Wan meme. That's why I'm here. All I know, Miat, is that you live near the Strasbourg somewhere, says Pat. Strasbourg and Strasbourg are two different, and Stroudsburg are two different things, which I didn't know for too long. And I know Madison didn't know until we were coming through there. I want to be the comic relief no matter what I do. Dean, I'm sorry. You are a lamp, anyway. So, I mean, you kind of put yourself in that situation. At least you can own it. I don't know. I was in a situation where it's like, oh, I'm the butt of jokes here. And that's the first time that has happened to me in a long time. And it's like, oh, so this is what that feels like. Oh. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't be so mean to people. But, among friends, busting chops is healthy and good. Of course, people have their limits. If somebody says, hey, don't say that, that isn't funny to me, then you stop. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be fun. And it can be tough if you don't really think much of yourself to be the butt of jokes all the time. Which is, it's hard. And it's hard to say to someone, hey, I really don't appreciate this, because then you feel like you're cramping their style. You feel like you're imposing on them what you want to hear out of them, like you're asking them to change their sense of humor for you. But in reality, rudeness is rudeness, and when something crosses the line between what everybody finds as funny and what somebody finds as rude, then it's rude. And there's no two ways about it. If everyone thinks it's funny except one guy, then it's not funny. What's that communism? Communism jokes aren't funny unless everyone gets it. Well, jokes aren't good unless everyone can laugh at them. Even among friends, when somebody is the butt of the joke, if that person can't laugh along, something's wrong there. People go to roast, people choose to be roasted because it's all jokes, And sometimes they can get pretty intense, but at the end of the day, everybody knows that it's jokes. And that's an important thing. When somebody stops feeling like it's a joke, whether because they feel threatened or because it's too close to home or something like that, then that's, you know, then it's no longer a joke. Then it's an attack. Then it's rudeness. And you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be rude. Ellis, could you turn down the game sound, the diesel noise when you go close is really loud? Oh, sorry, hold on. It is loud to me, too. Trust me. Alright, let's turn that down. And I can turn up my mic a little bit. But, let's see, let's do that just a little bit. So I have to ask, how's Madison feeling? Madison is feeling better, thankfully. She was able to go to work today. I mean, she's been able to go to work. She isn't really coughing so much. If she had what I had, which I assume she did, I think what happened is she was sick, and then I got it from her, and then she got it from me. You know, it's just a revolving door of illness when you live with somebody or multiple people. You know, if anybody here I mean, even if you don't have siblings, when you grow up with your parents, you know, when you're growing up, it's was that the text I was waiting for? It's oh no, it's not. It's you know, one person comes home sick in the household, you know, comes home from work sick. And then they get everybody else in the house sick. And they recover quicker because their body was fighting it first. Especially if there's a period where the other people haven't gotten sick yet because they're just incubating the virus or whatever. And then everybody's sick. Or one person has recovered and everyone else is sick. And then the person that's recovered, they recover, their body stops fighting it, they let, you know, the immune system lets its guard down, and then boom, they're sick again. Because they got it right back from the people that had it. You know, it's like I have to headphones at over half to hear you at all. Okay. I'm trying to make sure everything's adjusted, everything's good. If you can't hear me or if you're hearing something too much or too little, it's best that you do speak up because I can adjust that on the fly. You know, for streams, it's different than the other thing. Bandicam, I'd like to think I have everything squared away. I'm watching in vertical on my phone with the chat readable. That's smart. But Patrick's, that's a good idea. Put the stream on the TV and have the chat on the phone. I mean, heck, part of me wants to have the chat up on a different computer or a different screen so I can just turn and type on it. So, what was I saying? Yeah, when something ain't right with my volume, first person to speak up is the best person to speak up. There's nothing that and trust me, I thought the diesel was loud too, but what I'm hearing doesn't correspond to what you're hearing. I can't hear myself. I don't know how I compare. So, I can't know if I'm good or not. It's totally up to you guys to say so. Alright, this whole area's got to be filled in. I'm thinking of putting other administration buildings and sheds over here. Oh, and we probably need more fences, huh? I should put the stream on my laptop. That would solve my issues, but I don't want to get it out of my backpack for school today. Damn, dude, you're lazy nut tonight. You went on your walk, and you're like, that's all of the caloric burning I can possibly do all day. All right, give me that. Put that across like so. I think I'm going to move the end of this track back just a little bit so I can keep the fence straight. Ah, it's friggin' loud. I gotta turn down my own headset volume. Oh, I've got stuff on this track. Wait, what if I add a spline point? Or, well, I'd have to add 2. Oh, well. Alright, let's move these. Walking drained me. Yeah, that's fair. My arms hurt because I went to the gym 2 days ago. I mean, I can walk 500 miles and 500 more, but I want to start going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill for an hour. Gran, that's my life. I love that. The treadmill is the treadmill's good. The man has a right to relax after a long day. No, he doesn't. But really though, it's a good thing, and it's not just like, oh, it's a great way to stay in shape, but honestly, that kind of activity, whether it be walking or running or biking or, kayaking, that sort of physical exertion that is extended over a period of time but doesn't wear you out immediately, that is your ticket to health. You don't need to be a bodybuilder to be in good health. You don't need to be a an athlete to be in good health. You don't need to, work out all your muscles, target all your muscle groups and, whatever. You just got to burn as many calories as you take in. It's a real simple equation. Cram gets no rights. I know a lot of people who don't like treadmills, but I'd rather not be outside. I mean, outside's unpredictable. And outside, it is harder. It's harder to run outside than it is on a treadmill, because you actually have to propel your body forward through the air. That wind resistance, you might not think about it as much, but just lift your car. Thanks, Dean. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, you don't, hiking is great, you just gotta have weather for it, Pensy Fan says. I won't say I'm an avid hiker, because I hardly get out there to hike, but I do love to hike. I wish Madison liked hiking, because if she did, I would be probably hiking all the time. I love to hike. It is such good exercise, and it's, like, what's the word? It's a great way to see things you can't otherwise, I like to hike, when I do a hike, I like to hike to the Tri-Point, the Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts USGS marker and stone pillar that is, okay, this is where one state ends and the next two begin. And there's some great ways to get there. And now that I know the actual trails, because last time I did that, my trail map was wrong, and I got a little bit lost, but it costs $5 to go hiking. Where the hell do you live? Yeah, I got a little lost, and I was out there for a lot longer than I wanted to be. But hey, I got back. I was out with a friend too, so that didn't help. Okay, so let's just get along this edge here. Although, oh wait, no, I need to use my 1000mm ground for that edge. Give me that. I need to do more. Yeah, I already addressed this a little bit. Patrick said I need to do more hiking, but the only place to hike here that's not the mountains costs $5 to get in, and I'm broke. That sucks. Who does charging money to hike? I feel like there's other places you can find, but I don't know exactly. Hiking is just hiking is just rural walking. Really, it's you can hike in a town. You might not see all the facets of nature, but you'll see stuff. You never know what's around your corner until you actually see it, and sometimes it's nice to try and appreciate. I know this is weird to say, but not nature. We live in a world that is urbanized. We live in a world that is built up, and I'm sure most of us live in a place that's either urban or suburban. Welcome back, Brady Cure. And so we're surrounded by buildings, we're surrounded by people constantly. We are surrounded by infrastructure. And lots of people have a great time appreciating nature because you go out there and it's something that you don't see very often, and it's serene and it's peaceful. But you can hike down a city street and look around and take in everyone around you and take in what they're doing and what they're saying and what they're thinking, maybe. You know, if somebody's standing there contemplating, staring at their phone, staring at a map, staring out at the road waiting for the traffic to clear, you know, staring at the sky, watching a plane or the clouds for just a moment. That has its own kind of beauty. And it's a beauty of poetry in motion. It is the stark and yet so plain existence of man. These things that we've all come to be used to. I gotta go for the night. It's been a fun stream. Thanks. No problem, Matt. Thanks for coming around. And I'm trying to find a more poetic saying. I find it. I'm trying to find a more poetic way of saying it, but I'm not totally sure there is one, because for a lot of people it's no longer poetry of any kind. For a lot of people it is bustle. It is busy. It is work. It is an effort to maneuver through city life and suburban life, and there are people around you, and they say things and they think things and they do things, and these are things that are out of your control, and yet you know them. They are people. They are not so unusual or so foreign to you, and yet things don't feel right because you don't know what someone else is going to do, but they don't know what you're going to do. And you can go out into a city street, and you can, or onto, not into, and you can take in the motion, the music of life, the busy melodies and clattering harmonies, and the art of mankind. Art that was not meant to be art. Art that was meant to be utility. Art that was meant to find reason and rhyme and rhythm to the world we live in. And that's the thing. People talk about the city being chaos, but chaos doesn't come into it. Chaos is not the opposite of nature. Nature is completely spontaneous. In nature, things just sort of happen. There's no plan, there's no order. In fact, one could of course argue that nature is the chaotic place, despite the serenity. And so, if you go out into the city, if you go out into the world, you see people doing things that they want to do. You see people following a plan. You see people working and producing, and I don't know. I feel like I could turn this into something much more long form and something much more coherent. Right now it's, you know, I'm not sure that it's coming out so great, but I hope you guys get the picture. I feel like this is something that could be really interesting to riff on in the nature of mankind, the nature of the city. The concrete jungle, of course, is the term that is thrown around. The way that the world has put itself together and the way that we've put the world together are two very different things, and while we go into nature to escape the things that we have made, it is sometimes worth going into the things that we have made to indulge and to understand them and to experience them. Just the same. One of these days, I think I'm going to take the bus into Providence, and I'm just going to wander around. I'm not going to have a plan. I'm not going to have a brochure or a map. Not that I couldn't find my way around. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to see if see what people are doing. Is there an event? Are people congregating? Is there live music somewhere? Do I hear music? Am I attracted to it? The thing is, there's something around every corner no matter where you are. And beauty is whatever you decide it to be. So, Pat, you're at an Amarillo. Maybe someday take a hike through Amarillo. Might be enlightening. Of course, not every neighborhood is a perfect one. Don't just go wandering around. But I feel that a hike in that setting may be just as rewarding. Who knows? This is me spitballing. So, all right. I'm so glad, just to shift gears a little bit, I'm really glad that we're finally getting to the texture on this, because this has been bothering me for quite some time. This area is one of the biggest urban chunks that we have left undone. And it has been beckoning to me, and I have just been running from it because I do not know. I have not known what to do with it. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's see. Is that... Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And I think I found a name for this. The poetry of motion. If I were still in high school, I may write a poem, and I may submit it to our, our coffee house thing, our coffee shop thing, where everyone got up and read their poems, and the angsty teens talked about love, and the angsty teen girls talked about love, and the folks like me would read excerpts from the Zombie Train, which I did once read an excerpt, like a 3-page long excerpt from The Pass, while I was in the midst of writing it. And I believe I overstayed my welcome, but I liked showing that. I hope it wasn't too boring for those people. What I could do is go hike the old Rock Island grade west of town if I knew exactly where it was. Hey, the open railway map can probably help you with that. I can hike, and this is actually near the Tri-Point. I use it to get to the Tri-Point. The old, the New York and New England Railroad airline is what they called it. It was supposed to avoid the windy coastal route of the New Haven. And that is a really nice flat grade. The only issue, the reason I don't want to bike it is because A, it's still dirt, and B, it has gates, which I assume are there to keep somebody from riding down it in an ATV or a truck. I also assume that if there's an emergency, the Forest Service and the EMTs and stuff, they have access to the keys to those gates, so they can just go right on through. But I'm not going to be the one who ends up crashing into these things, because they're not the easiest things to see, honestly. They are not the easiest things to... Like, I'm always afraid if I walk through there and I go, man, if I was on a bike, I might have just slammed right into this. Alright, give me this. I'll put this over here. You'll notice there's a difference on the two sides of the river. This one is much more lush. I mean, Burlington, Rock Island, right? Oh, I like when these little conversations happen that aren't me. And no, I don't mean that sarcastically. I actually do like seeing these spontaneous interactions between folks. That's why I like the Discord so much. It's the, you're getting to... I'm getting to witness friendship in motion. No, Pensy, I'm in Texas. Oh, was that the text that I'm expecting? Oh, I think it was. Oh, never mind. I just took... I don't wonder if you wanted me to grab dinner on the way home. Maybe you got it twisted, or you wanted me to go to Domino's and pick something up. So avenues or whatever. You pick, but I'm starving. Alright, I'm gonna keep this phone in front of me now instead of over there. Our card. Of course. Weekend's almost here, says the Weather Channel, and I have 2 emails. One moment, please. I say as I begin touching the screen again. Or the mouse. Oh my god, it's another Makara email. Never, never again. Please, leave me alone. The other thing I might do is... This area is great for a little building. Hold on. That's interesting. Wayne Feeds, great facility. What is this? Holy macaroni, that's huge! But it's built in. The BRI ran from Galveston to Dallas. Cool. Let's see. Actually, can I have a... Oh, that's cool. Small treatment plant. What is this? Water treatment plant. Oh my god, this is amazing. I think I'm going to put this here. I'm going to sink it into the ground so we can't see the track. But this looks great right here. They also had a line through the Texas Panhandle, which I'm on, that ran from Oklahoma City to Santa Rosa, New Mexico, where the wind comes rolling over the plains. Of course, it doesn't allow height change. Why would it allow height change? That would make things way too easy. Give me this. Stupid. Doesn't allow height change. Ellis Peter, red 2006 Toyota Corolla S somewhere on the map for the trunk Easter egg. Well, are you going to make that? Because I don't think I have that asset. This, I think, is going to be... Actually, the other thing I could put here is a little substation. That might have fit in this corner really well. I'll have to put it somewhere else, though. You're in the line of the Texas effort, which I need to start modeling sometime. That'd be cool. Dude, you're a solid modeler, Pensy fan. I forget what your actual name is. You've never corrected anyone for not saying it, so it doesn't seem to bother you. But I know, me personally, one of the reasons that I started moving away from Train Man is because I didn't like people calling me Train Man. I spent a lot on books and haven't started the project yet. When I'm online, when I'm doing something, it's like, oh, Train Man, Train Man. I'm like, yeah, like I've said, there are way too many Train Mans. But at the same time, it's like, no matter what, it's not about specifically being called Train Man. It's like, if somebody says that, I'm just going to respond with, no, Ellis. Call me Ellis. I'm Ellis. I'm going to get them to say my name. I don't know. I like being my name. The other thing is, though, instead of just that, because there are 2 options when I'm Admiral Ellis. Obviously you can put your whole name on. It's not 1995 anymore, or 2005. Putting your name on the internet is not a death sentence. In fact, I think it's better that way. Part of me thinks that we should mandate names, because then people would have less a chance to hide stupid stuff. I've never referred to you as Trainman. You will always be Ellis. Good, thank you. Yeah, people would have less opportunity to hide behind stuff. I feel like the anonymity of the internet really gives people a platform to say, I guess, edgy stuff. You know, stuff that would normally be uncouth or too unkind. You know, stuff that you wouldn't say to somebody's face, and not even say to somebody's face, stuff that you wouldn't say at all. And because people would know, and people would be like, "Why did you say that? You know, that's so rude or so wrong, or you know, so callous." But at the same time, anonymity on the internet is a really important thing because it allows people to ask questions and answer questions that they wouldn't really do if they were constrained by their name. It allows people to be anonymous. I mean, I think the option of anonymity is important. Uh, Graham says, I remember when I first messaged Ellis in middle school on Steam, and I never answer Steam messages anymore. If this was these days, I don't, if this was these days and you tried to message me and I didn't know who you were on Steam, I would just be like, I would probably not respond. Because if somebody wants me, they can get to me on Skype still, or they can get to me in the Discord, which is not that hard to get into. If they know who I am, they can get in there. Me and my friend asked him if he had a big penis and if he used Viagra. Man, I don't remember that, but that wasn't, I'm sure that was an experience. That's middle school for you. That is such a thing. That is so Emilio and myself vibes. Honestly. That's like, I say that's middle school for you almost as a joke, but it's not a joke. That is such a middle school thing to do. I know because I was that person. Anyway. Oh, what was I saying? About the internet and anonymity and all that jazz. Right. The other option, if somebody sees Admiral Ellis as my username, they're either going to call me Ellis, which mission accomplished, or they're going to call me Admiral, and I don't really mind that as much. Probably for obvious reasons, the sense of power, whatever. But it's like this is me as much as I am my persona from my books and writings. By the way, and this got brought up very briefly in the Discord earlier, and I don't want to spoil too much. This is a little bit of spoilers, so if you really care about the finest Iron Horseman related details, then cover your ears, I suppose. But the next Iron Horseman series, it's not series. The next Iron Horseman short story set is going to be the first Iron Horseman short story, or the first Iron Horseman media at all, to show my character. And by that I mean literally me, legitimately me, the Admiral Ellis. Stop spinning. And that is the kind of thing where I am... Oh, this building is also used over here. I used it over here, didn't I? Yeah, I used it over there. Oh, well, nobody will notice that. Let's see if I can find another one. And so it's going to, despite my initial thoughts, my initial ideas, it's going to actually tie the Iron Horseman universe to the Admiral Ellis universe. Not in the most direct way, as you might expect, but there will be ties. If anybody expected that, you can be unsurprised now. Hold up, when was this in the Discord? Let's see. It was up, it was in the fan chat. Oh, somebody pinged me in the fan chat. At Admiral Ellis, this is the text you were expecting. God damn it. Let's see, it's up, it's above the Pennsylvanians discussion. It's above the Skook stuff. Yeah, so it was at 3:43 Eastern Time. Brock was talking about his model, which is named Chadwick, and My response was the Iron bleep. My response was bleep, and that started a little bit of conversation where I spilled a couple beans about some characters and some past Iron Horse verse Warships TTO verse. That is how it goes. That is the connection line. I don't remember this. Again, it was at 3:45. It's the stuff that's blacked out. If you scroll up, you will see the if you scroll up, you will see the censored stuff. And that will be your cue to, oh, this is in here. And it was very briefly just about the UK, US, and Canada in the Horseman universe, and how that is the way it is. Right, I'll be right back. I need to go look at this. Yeah. Oh, you know what's something I want to add up here? I want to add a water tower. I thought I already had one, maybe up here. Because this would be there it is. This would be the place to put it, but this is a pretty small water tower for what we're working with here. So I think I'm gonna put a water tower over here. Now, let's see, we had a pretty good size one. Keep scrolling down. Now a water tank, like an actual legitimate tower. Right there. Doom, 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 doom. Uh-oh. Undo. I don't know what I just placed. Let's see. I need a big one. That one is not quite big enough, but that is big enough for this campus. That's not big enough for the town. Water Tower Bolivar. Nope. It says Bolivar on it. That's neat. That's not tall enough. Actually, you know what? Let's get the big bulbous one. I've seen a tower like this serving as community in South County, so that maybe is a little bit more realistic, and I'll put it over here behind this building. And let's sink it into the ground just a little bit so all of the tips touch. And the other thing, Patrick Fox says, how did I not see that? I don't know. It came and it went. The other thing is I would like to throw in like a culvert that leads from here to here with pipes in it. And I'm not sure how I want to pull that off. Actually, that might be a neat thing to do. I'm not going to be able to stay here for too much longer because nature is calling. Now, let's see. How long have we been streaming? It doesn't actually say. Where's my stream settings? Nope. Analytics. Oh, 3 hours. You know what? That's enough. I think I can wrap this up, but I'm going to put in some pipes here that we're going to use. Yeah. No, Graham got it. I don't want the steam pipes, although I should use those. Covered pipeline. Culvert pipe. And concrete culvert pipe, large spline. That's not really what I want. I want like yeah, like this, like the dam pipeline. And this, I want to come down to here in a straight line and then go this way. Whoops. And how am I going to work this? Good question. 3 hours is real long. But the thing is, these things can't make corners. And I want a pipeline. Maybe that first pipeline, this culvert pipeline, is more like it. I need to find a good pipe. And honestly... okay, maybe like this. But I doubt this can make corners either. Let's just let me put it down. Jesus. We'll see. Let's see, because this is not gonna... Nature's always calling if you listen hard enough. Kind of you to show up, Mason. We were talking about you. Actually, we weren't talking about him, but let him believe it. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I'm not sure what to do about this. I'm just going to leave this like this so that I know that I want to put a culvert in here. But this urban infrastructure, like, I want to get this, some sort of pipeline, some sort of culvert that's running either this way or this way. But I think having it come down from the water tower and then run along the road, under the road and the rail, and then head towards the waterfront. Whether that's going to be an outlet for the water tower or maybe just a pipe outlet for whatever chemicals are being used here at the old factory or were used. That I don't know, and I could probably connect it up to this as well. So let's do that. Again, this is just for future notice for myself. Obviously, it looks hideous, but this is something to address next time we come around. Thank you guys for tuning in to this stream, and I will see you hopefully again next week. This is the Admiral, signing off.